and welcome to yet another episode of Headlock Talk.
Oh, snap.
Oh, snap indeed. I am, of course, the Texas gentleman Tanner Pruitt, and as always with me here, the one, the only, Mr. Stephen Grudy.
Hello, sir.
Hello, Stephen. How's it going today?
It's going good. And hello, listeners.
Yes, hello, listeners and viewers.
And viewers. I was going to add the viewers.
You gotta add the viewers part.
Oh.
Hello. Hi. If you can see us, we are now here on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming.
It really has been, truthfully. So we're really excited to be here. I know that maybe our background is not.
I mean,
It's not wrestling.
It is what it is.
This is my office. I just work here. But yeah, no, I'm excited. This is fun. It's our return episode.
Yes.
Season 2 of Headlock Talk.
Ooh, that looks good on the screen.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, man, you can see our faces.
You can see the face.
What a return.
Indeed.
What a return.
It is quite the return. Very excited to be here. We got a lot to talk about here, Stephen. We got a lot to get into. Of course, what I want to ask of you here right now, if you are listening or viewing for the very first time, please like, share, subscribe wherever you're listening or watching this show, be it YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the things. Give us a like, share, subscribe, and leave a 5-star rating review wherever you can. That would definitely help us out quite a good deal.
I believe we're on Google also,
yes,
right? Yeah.
Google Podcasts as well as Amazon, so make sure to hit those up as well. Yeah, fun times, great memories. And then, we also, big news, new affiliate here. We are a part of Super Kicks now. So if you head on over to superkicks.com for wrestling merch, wrestling t-shirts, hoodies, hats, anything you got. I was taking a look at some of their merch here, Steven. Super dope stuff.
What I like about their merch is I wear very minimal type stuff like just dark colors.
You can see it.
Not lots of logos, and I like the Super Kick stuff because it's very minimal. It's very simple.
It is.
I like that. I like that a lot.
I do too. I really enjoy it. And like I said, it is wintertime, so obviously you need to go and get yourself some new hoodies, new beanies. Go to superkicks.com. That's SPRKIX, superkicks.com. Use promo code HLT10 for all of your purchases. You get 10% off no matter what. So make sure to go, again, SPRKIX.com and use promo code HLT10 at checkout.
Yeah, and we'll have a link in the description as well, so you can click down there.
Link in the promo code, all that good stuff. Fun times, great memories.
Yes, indeed. It is actually very exciting. Having a clothing brand as a sponsor is very exciting.
It is
very
indeed.
Exciting.
It is indeed. So thank you to the fellows over at Super Kicks for the new sponsorship.
Yeah.
Greatly appreciate that. Steven, it's been a long time.
It has been a long time.
We've got a lot to talk about, a lot to catch up on. We've been out of the game for a month, and yet it seems like it's an
feels like an eternity. Yeah,
truly.
I think part of that's due to just 2020 in general, but wrestling hasn't slowed down really, and things have just continued happening in our absence. So for better or worse, but we're here to talk about it.
We are. That's what we do. We headlock talk about it. Anyway.
Man, 2 years in and that joke still doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. it doesn't. So I guess where do you want to start here, Stephen? Because there's a lot. I mean, we could start with the G1, which is really important. We've watched a little bit of the G1. I've watched the whole thing at this point. I know you and I have watched some of it together.
Right.
I guess what did you make of the G1 in and of itself?
I mean, I really, really enjoyed the G1. Obviously, we always talk about G1 being it's the best wrestling out there, really.
Yeah.
Just in terms of just what's happening in the ring. And this year's G1 definitely was not a disappointment in that aspect. I will say, though, I did prefer last year's, but last year had a little bit more heart to it. It had the story with Kota Ibushi, and Kota did win his second one this year, and that's awesome, but it just didn't have the same heart-wrenching feeling of the last one. And then the Okada Ospreay match, what was good, not as good as last year. So I don't know, good but not as good as last year would probably be like my in a sentence nutshell of it. But it was very, very good. It was very good.
I feel like they made a lot of safe moves.
Right.
I feel like going with Kota Ibushi is very much a safe move.
Mm-hmm.
In that he won it last year. It's a good story for him to go and repeat it as a G1 winner.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to go and face Naito. He's got an opportunity for redemption because he pretty much lost the double gold dash entirely last year. So yeah, I mean, I would hope that it's a good redemption story for him.
But see, I would even argue that Sonata winning would have been a little bit of a better story, because there was the whole thing when Naito originally lost the belts from Evil, that no one from LIJ came out and was like helping him out, and so to have Sonata come out and he finally did redeem himself, I would say, at least in a lot of people's eyes, by being there for Naito and also just absolutely showing out in the G1. He was fantastic this year. And so if Sonata had won, it would almost be like the redemption of LIJ to a certain degree. And so I would have preferred Sonata to win, but to your point, Ibushi winning was a very safe bet. So I can't necessarily be mad at it,
Hey, I mean, that's a decent enough point. Let me ask you this: with Ibushi winning it, I mean, obviously, I think he's being challenged by Jay White. I don't know if that's actually happened yet. I've been so out of the loop on New Japan recently. Let me check this out because I think Jay White is supposed to be challenging Kota Ibushi. New Japan. I mean, do you think Ibushi would go all the way and beat Naito at Wrestle Kingdom 15?
Oh man, that's really hard. I could see it. I would say I can definitely see it, just for the sense of 2020 has been really, really rough, and that would be a very good way to, put a happy little exclamation point at the end of this whole COVID season that we've had with not just New Japan, obviously everywhere, but specifically with COVID's or New Japan's COVID saga or whatever. That could be a really happy ending for that. At the same time, though, Naito is a fan favorite. A lot of people really like him. So not everyone would like it. It wouldn't be a happy ending for everyone. So it'd be a happy ending for some people.
Perhaps so.
It'd be cool for me. It'd be cool for you. I know. It'd be cool.
I would like it. As a big fan of Kota Ibushi, I think that he deserves to be champion. But I guess we'll have to wait and see here, Steve.
Yeah, it really just depends, honestly, if they want to give, and basically if they want to give Naito a second chance, not in the sense that Naito flubbed his first chance or anything, but COVID happened and he wasn't really able to really be that double champion that they had built up. So I mean, yeah, it just depends on if they want to do a mulligan on Naito's double champ run.
Let's talk about somebody else who never really got a big shot at being champion because of COVID. Let's talk about Drew McIntyre.
Yes.
And one of the things that's been talked about in wrestling circles on Twitter and on Reddit is especially is Drew McIntyre, he lost to Randy Orton at Hell in a Cell.
Right.
He's no longer the champ. He held the title very, very well for 6 months, but he never really got that big moment to be champion in front of the fans. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess what do you make of I guess the fallout from Hell in a Cell? WWE Hell in a Cell, of course.
Right. It's tough, man. It's tough, honestly. With Drew McIntyre, if he had a crowd, he could have been a huge champion, honestly. And that man was trying so hard. He was really trying. He was really working it. And, you got to give him props for that 100%. And I feel like in a different time with COVID not around, Drew McIntyre would have been looked back on as a very, very solid champion. I do believe that. But I will say during this COVID season, it was a little lackluster for me. I did enjoy Drew McIntyre. I liked his work rate, obviously, but there was just kind of something missing there. It was that energy that a champion can exude out, and a lot of that is probably due to fans not being there and not being able to feel that energy and feel that electricity that the crowd is giving to the champion. But I don't know. It really just depends on how it goes forward. A lot of people are asking, and I think you were going to pose the question, like, is he buried or not, right? And I would say no, not right now. I mean, he was, for all intents and purposes, a solid champion for these last 6 months. So I wouldn't say he's like dead and gone and buried, and we'll never see Drew McIntyre as he is right now. But I don't know. Randy Orton's the safe bet, so they're gonna, I guess, push with that. I mean, obviously they're setting up Randy Orton Edge, clearly.
That's the way it seems, man. And
Yeah.
I remember us talking about it back when they had the greatest wrestling match of all time.
Dumbest name.
The greatest
of all
wrestling
time.
match of all.
It's so dumb. It's just so dumb.
We talked about that being the story, especially with Edge coming out of the match being injured. I think that made a huge difference in terms of the story arc and where things go from there. So yeah, not. I really do feel for Drew quite a bit, and we'll do a. I'll repose the question to you here in a later segment. But obviously we need to talk a little bit more about Hell in a Cell. Roman Reigns did defeat Jey Uso in an I Quit match inside of Hell in a Cell. I guess the loss was a result of Roman using this new guillotine. I think you kind of got your wish here, Steven, from a few episodes back. You wish that with Roman Reigns being a heel now, that he would no longer be using the Superman punch, and he still does use it, but he's using this guillotine choke now as well. He put the guillotine choke on Jay's brother Jimmy.
Yes.
And Jay quit because of that submission.
Almost in solidarity with his brother,
Almost.
Yeah.
I found the match itself to be quite long.
Yeah.
But with that being said, it was brutal. There was quite a bit of emotion in it. And I see why they did the finish the way that they did. Now Jay is supposed to be like Roman Reigns is, like, I don't know, like servant, I guess is the word that Paul Heyman used. Like he's supposed to go to Roman's every beck and call.
Right.
It seems. So we'll see what happens there.
I will say, some people liked the match. Some people really didn't like the match. I do agree with your sentiments. Pretty long, but I will say the ending of the match. I actually really enjoyed the ending. With the it was very, very emotional. It had that family connection and betrayal. But I actually really liked it because it's something new from Roman. It's something we haven't seen from Roman Reigns.
Right.
Not at least not to like this level,
Right.
And so I actually really enjoyed it. This is like the final nail in the coffin of old, like, babyface Roman, and we're finally into, like, this is heel Roman. That is who he is, and there's no going back. So I did enjoy the ending, at least for like what it represented.
Well, and I was going to ask you how you felt about heel Roman too. Do you feel like this is like a new chapter, a new like going in the right direction here for Roman?
I mean, it's not like resonating 100% with me, but it's resonating like 60%. Like I'm not
all the way.
No,
not all the way.
Like I'm not all the way there yet, but I'm really just happy that he's doing something different, and that he's not just going out there and being like, look, I'm Roman Reigns, aren't y'all happy I'm here? And he's actually I don't know, it's just different, and that's what I've been waiting for from Roman, is something different, because he's been the same person for like the last 6 years. So
yeah, this is true. He is now the tribal chief. That's what I believe they call him now.
I believe so. Yeah. That new tattoo is sick too.
Which one?
It's on his left like back shoulder blade. Takes up like a section of his back. It's like an extension of the tribal stuff that he's had on his shoulder, but it's sick. I like it.
Cool.
Tattoos, man, sweet.
I got him. What up? Let's see here. Elias defeated Jeff Hardy by disqualification.
Moving on. I don't want to talk about that.
All right, fair enough. The Miz. The Miz defeated Otis for the Money in the Bank briefcase. Now, a little bit of controversy here. Been going around on the Twitter and Reddit circles recently. Steven, there's a few Twitter wrestling sleuths.
Okay,
we're back.
Yep, we're back. We're back. We got to get into it. It's okay.
Some Twitter wrestling sleuths. Thank you. That they went through the records. Back in 2010, 10 years ago, The Miz and Randy Orton were Money in the Bank briefcase and world champions. Same scenario. Literally 10 years ago, Randy Orton was champion. Miz was Money in the Bank briefcase winner.
Is it like 10 years to the day?
It's like right then. Like right
really?
there. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder if WWE is just on a 10-year cycle, and now we're gonna start seeing more things. I really hope not.
I hope not.
But I don't know. That kind of worries me
a little bit.
I mean, WWE's been known to rehash, I guess is a good word. I didn't want to be too like negative with it, but
rehash.
Yeah.
No, I mean part of it might be coincidence. I do feel as though they really put their foot down on deciding that they did not have any faith in Otis.
Clearly, yeah.
Which is sad for him.
Yeah.
But that is what it is.
I mean, here's the thing. Like Miz has the briefcase, Randy Orton has the title. I mean, are we expecting a Miz push? Like, exactly. Like, you just busted out laughing even from the thought of it. So, like, I don't really think we need to worry about that necessarily. But at the same time, if you're not going to do anything with the Miz in the briefcase, why did you have him take it off of Otis?
A Miz Randy Orton title feud. It just sounds like it's the worst for business. I can't.
Would you prefer an Otis and Randy Orton title feud?
Almost.
I would.
I mean,
I'll tell you right now, I would. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And then Tucker turned on Otis afterwards, and now Tucker and Otis are having a feud. Yeah, it's going from bad to worse for Otis. He's without Mandy.
Yeah, that's pretty rough, man. Loses the briefcase, Mandy, and Tucker. That's It's I mean, it's
quite a loss.
It almost makes me think that they have like a grander plan for Otis.
I do need to make a slight correction. Otis is actually on SmackDown, so Otis is not on Raw.
Okay.
Tucker is on Raw, I think. No, maybe.
These rosters are so confusing.
Yeah, we'll talk about the rosters here in just a moment.
Yeah.
No, yes, Tucker is on Raw. Otis is on SmackDown. I guess they're shooting this as an angle for Otis and Tucker to have a match at Survivor Series because of brand versus brand.
Right. I mean, cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. Goes from Money in the Bank briefcase holder to a throwaway match participant. Sweet.
Awesome.
I mean, maybe I'm not being fair by calling that a throwaway match, but like, is anyone around here like clamoring for an Otis Tucker match? Because like I'm really not personally.
I mean, I'm not either. I'm trying to see here actually if The Miz is on Raw or SmackDown.
Let's see here. Actually, don't even see him listed in here. Honestly. He's got to be somewhere. There's no way they let him go. There's no way.
All right, you won it, and now you're gone.
That man's going to work for WWE until he's like 90. Just wait. Just wait. If he doesn't get his big Hollywood break. Damn, I'm just like digging that trench.
You're just burying him.
Burying The Miz. Which is funny because I actually really like The Miz. Just like from a character standpoint, but like
Miz and Morrison are officially on Raw.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Found it thanks to Fightful. Thanks, Fightful.com.
Thanks, Fightful. I missed it. I missed the thing. We could have done the ding. It would have been great.
Bing.
Whatever.
So yeah, there you go. Miz, Money in the Bank, Randy Orton also on Raw.
Cool.
You think Miz will try and cash in on Randy Orton at Survivor Series?
I hope he does. And then it's just like comedic and Randy Orton just like demolishes him. That's where I'm at.
You just really hate The Miz today. That's fair, you know.
I mean, like, I don't hate The Miz. It's just like, look, what are you going to do with him? Because like, you put the briefcase on him. There's only two things that can happen. He can try to cash in and he loses.
Yeah.
Or he can try to cash in and he wins. Which one do you think is more likely?
Yeah. Maybe what he tries to do is he tries to cash in and then he tries to pin both Roman and Randy. And then, like, both just murder him, not literally, but they do the thing, and he gets crushed by both. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
of course. Could be, man.
Could be.
It's just a strange like decision for me. Like, you're clearly not about to push The Miz, so why give him the briefcase? Like, it just. I'll move on, but like, it just doesn't make sense.
I agree. No, I agree wholeheartedly. It's very strange. Anyway,
I'm perturbed a little bit.
So one of the more talked about matches at Hell in a Cell was Sasha Banks defeating Bayley with the bank statement. You know, the old tap out, tap-a-roo. There you go. Yep. Also in a Hell in a Cell match. I thought this was a great match. Mm-hmm. I really, really liked it. I thought that it was a little bit strange, the story that they were trying to tell with the chair and the importance that Bayley was putting on a specific chair when there was all sorts of chairs under the ring.
Right.
Whatever. But yeah, I really, really liked the match. I liked the format. I liked everything that they did there. I thought it was probably one of Sasha Banks' finest matches that she's ever put on. And that's with no surprise.
Shining endorsement.
Yeah. I mean, that's no surprise because I mean the probably the only match that I can think of right at the moment that stands above that is the one that they had at Takeover Brooklyn, which is easily a 5-star match.
Right.
So yeah, I really, really like this one.
Man, I was surprised you liked it that much.
Yeah, well, it's good.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. No,
it was a good match. I mean, what do you want me? What do you want to say?
No, I mean, let me ask you this then. Let me ask you this. How do you feel about Sasha taking the title off of her? Some people feel like it's too soon. Some people feel like they could have stretched this storyline out a little bit more. Me included. I feel like they could have done a little bit more build up towards a later pay-per-view maybe. But what do you think?
I think that they've been building this thing since before WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I feel like that this has been the direction they've been going to go, and I think that they felt as though it was for the fans. It's been fairly obvious that this is the direction that they were going to go. That they were going to go in
for sure.
And I don't think that they would have needed to have Bayley go over Sasha in a match. I think that Bayley did enough as a heel pre-match to where you just absolutely wanted to see Sasha take the title from her. And I think that's the best move. The best move possible is to give it to Sasha. And now Sasha is set potentially to face Asuka at Survivor Series, and that's going to be an awesome match.
It's true.
And I think we all know that for a fact.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone will sit here and say that they're not excited for a Sasha Banks Asuka match.
Now, what they could end up doing is having Bayley interfere against, and costing Sasha the match, which could continue the feud. I could certainly see that happening.
Right.
That is the WWE way to do things. But yeah, well, I guess that's going to be another thing that we can talk about here momentarily.
Yeah, for sure. No, I didn't see all of the match, but from what I did see, I mean, I enjoyed it. At the end of the day, whether you like Bayley and Sasha Banks or not, they have very, very good chemistry together. They have very good chemistry together, and it makes the match flow really, really well. So yeah, I mean, from what I saw, I did enjoy the match myself. I would have personally preferred them to kind of drag this out a little bit longer, but that's it's just me. But it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. They still could continue it.
Indeed. Bobby Lashley defeated Slapjack in a special challenge match. So the burial of Retribution continues. You'll also notice that Mustafa Ali has now revealed himself as the leader of Retribution. Steven, a couple things here.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Retribution overall, but also Mustafa Ali being the leader of Retribution. What do you make of it, man? Like it's kind of crazy.
It is. It honestly is really crazy. I'll answer
here. Sorry.
Oh yeah, get in there, man. I'll answer your first question first. Retribution as a whole, my thoughts.
Yes, please.
Why? Those are my thoughts.
Well, why did they bury Retribution?
Yeah.
My mic
Honestly,
is really
even
high.
further, why are they a thing? Because you brought them in here, and their thing was dismantling WWE, all these things, and they're supposed to be this powerhouse like enforcement kind of faction thing, and they just lose left and right and back and forth, and so
my hair. Sorry.
I have no reason to believe that they're capable of doing what they're setting out to do, and I have no reason to be intimidated by them. No one on the roster has any reason to be intimidated by them. So my question about Retribution is why? Why are they even a thing?
They continue to get buried.
Yeah.
They have not looked good since joining the main roster. Every time that they come across the Hurt Business, they end up getting beaten up.
They end up getting hurt.
Either by the Hurt Business themselves or by any other number of people on the roster.
Yeah, I just don't really get it.
Now, I do like the addition of Mustafa Ali because it does add something for him, and it gives Retribution some kind of extra credibility that they didn't otherwise have.
Yeah, and that was going to be my answer to your second question is, Mustafa Ali, he's better than Retribution, but at the same time, at least he's got something to do. Like honestly, I don't know.
Fair enough, man.
I don't think that the attachment of anyone with Retribution is going to do that person any kind of service, really.
Right, and here's the other thing too that we got to think about is that previous to Mustafa Ali joining, you had 3 members of Retribution that were males,
right?
But 4 members of the Hurt Business, right? So you needed to add a 4th male member of Retribution so you can have these giant like multi-man matches that WWE likes to do with these factions.
I mean, Mia Yim can hold her own. They could do it.
Mia Yim's in the ring. She's smashing Shelton Benjamin.
I don't know. It could happen.
Possibly. I don't know. They're weird about those intergender matches, man. They don't do them.
I know. I know they're weird about it, but like, I don't know. This could be an opportunity to do it. Who knows?
Well, and then, as previously noted, Randy Orton did defeat Drew McIntyre as well. So there you go.
There's Hell in a Cell.
That's Hell in a Cell. This brings us going forward into Survivor Series, which will be coming up on November the 22nd. It's being advertised as 30 years of The Undertaker.
Oh.
So, surprise, surprise. I guess we're going to get The Undertaker. Surprise. Yeah. I mean,
crazy.
Who would have thunk it?
Yeah.
Who'd have thunk it, guys?
He's not wrestling, is he?
He might be wrestling. I mean, they're advertising 30 years of The Undertaker. I gotta imagine that there's got to be a reason why they would have.
He could just be there. Oh, that's how. I don't know.
It's just gonna be here. Currently, the proposed 5-on-5 Raw versus SmackDown teams: Team Raw, AJ Styles, Keith Lee, Sheamus, and 2 members of TBD to be determined.
I love that wrestler.
There you go.
He's a great guy.
We'll be squaring off against Team SmackDown, which is, as of right now, is Kevin Owens and Jey Uso. We will give you updates on who the other members of these teams will be. No NXT. No NXT involvement this year. It looks like we'll be getting straight up, probably just War Games.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's a mistake, man. Not the War Games, but NXT not being at Survivor Series, honestly.
We'll talk about it here in just a brief moment, because they've got something here planned. Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke, and Lana will comprise of the 5-on-5 women's Raw team against Team SmackDown, which is Bianca Belair, and 4 members yet to be determined.
Hey, at least Bianca Belair's in there.
Yeah. No, I like Bianca Belair's chances, actually.
Yeah.
I think that she's going to make a pretty big star-making performance. We will also have Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn, because that feud worked 3 years ago.
Yeah, we'll just try it again. We'll just do it again. They loved it then. It'll be all right.
Give it a try. So we'll see how that works. Again, as previously noted, Asuka versus Sasha Banks. Good stuff.
Yes.
Great
I'm
memories.
down for that.
And then Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns. That should also be a fairly intriguing match, I think.
Yeah.
We'll have to see what the build is like there. And then as far as TakeOver War Games is concerned, Steven, because that'll be the night before, it looks as though what we will probably be getting is a let's see here. When is that? It looks like we'll probably be getting Oney Lorcan, Danny Burch, Pat McAfee, and Pete Dunne versus Undisputed Era. Because Pete Dunne has now aligned himself with Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, who are now the NXT Tag Team Champions.
Okay.
And Pat McAfee has aligned himself with them as their mouthpiece. So, Pat McAfee is running a new stable, trying to contest Undisputed Era's dominance over NXT.
That's interesting.
I really thought that we saw the last of Pat McAfee.
I really thought we did too, honestly. But I even remember saying, after that match with him and Adam Cole, that we were like, wait, he was actually like not bad,
It wasn't bad. I don't want it again,
dude.
Please, I there's no reason for it. There's like Pat, if you're watching, I'm sorry. I don't have anything against you. I just don't care about you.
Ooh.
Right?
Burn. Jesus Christ.
I just don't want to see you wrestle again.
Right.
Like, I don't mind you on commentary or wearing your shorts at WrestleMania or whatever it is the hell that you want to do. It's perfectly fine. But
I don't mind your shorts, man.
Yeah, it was fine. I'm wearing shorts right now. You just can't see them because this camera's too high. But yeah, I mean, it's
watch, man. He's gonna surprise us again.
He might.
Wait,
look, he might, and that's totally fine. Like, I'll just throw my hands up and be like, okay, fine. It's Pat McAfee. He did it.
Look, William Regal trusts him apparently. Tripp trusts him apparently. I mean, I don't know. I share a lot of the same sentiment with you. I don't need the celebrity appearances, especially not in NXT. That being said, though, I mean, it was a decent match between Pat and Adam Cole. Like, I'm sorry, it was. It was a decent match, and
I'm
I mean,
sorry you feel that way.
I mean, look, man.
It was fine. It was fine.
If Pat has been training real hard in these last few months, and he wants to jump in on a War Games match, I don't know. More power to him, man.
Yeah, I'll give the devil his due. He performed far better than I would have ever given him any hope to perform.
Yeah.
That said, I don't like this like celebrity angle kind of stuff. Like maybe they see him as one of their own now. I don't know. But.
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly possible. I don't know. I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic, basically. Cautiously optimistic because he did surprise me that one time. I'm not a mega fan of him or anything, but we'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how it goes.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. Let's move on to some more WWE news. Netflix has announced that they are working in partnership with WWE to produce a multi-part Vince McMahon documentary.
Mm-hmm.
This is per Bleacher Report and writer Paul Kasabian. A WWE chairman and CEO Vince McMahon will be subject of a multi-part Netflix documentary, per WWE President and Chief Revenue Officer Nick Khan.
Tony Khan?
This was originally reported by Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Bill Simmons, who founded The Ringer and co-created ESPN's 30 for 30 documentary series, will be an executive producer, per Alex McCarthy of Talk Sport. Simmons has also served as an executive producer for the 2018 HBO documentary Andre the Giant, which covered the life of the pro wrestling legend and actor. Per Meltzer, the McMahon piece will be one of the highest budgeted documentaries in Netflix history. Chris Smith, who directed Fire, The Greatest Party That Never Happened.
That's a great documentary.
Firefest.
Yeah.
I never saw it, but I always heard good things.
It's a really great documentary.
It will be the documentary's director, per Jeremy Lambert of Fightful. The documentary announcements were made on WWE's third quarter financial call, per Tyler Treese of WrestleZone. There you go.
Interesting.
So, Steven, what do you want to see out of this Vince McMahon docu-series?
I mean, really, the main thing I just want to hear stories. Really, I just want to hear like unreleased stories about how Vince McMahon is backstage and with wrestlers and things like that. I know we've heard good amount of stories in the years, but these documentaries are always about bringing things to light, things that people don't know about. So I want to hear some stories. The only thing that's interesting is since WWE is like involved in some way, it's going to be very pro Vince McMahon. Which is the only thing that I'm worried about. Now, I'm not saying Vince McMahon's like the devil or anything. And like, obviously, Vince McMahon he's not a perfect guy, but he's not, the worst guy in the world or anything. But I'm worried that we're only really going to see the side that WWE wants us to see.
Well, and I'm glad that you said that, because I think that's going to be 100% true. We're going to only really get what WWE wants us to be able to see.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a small glimmer of hope that I have, because ESPN, and particularly the 30 for 30 docuseries that they do, has a really good reputation of getting the nitty-gritty of things. Even when like something is really, really guarded, they really do their best investigative work towards it. And even if WWE employers themselves won't come right out and be like, well, back in 1980, blah, 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 Vince McMahon, he got me full of them steroids. Allegedly. He, something like that could happen.
Right.
I mean, they might be able to find stories of other people. They might be able to find other sources who will be able to back up and make claims that WWE probably won't like.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be perfectly honest here, folks.
Of course.
I
mean, there's There's plenty of things that WWE does not want you to know. I can guarantee that.
Right.
I mean, that's any company. That's not just WWE, but just speaking the facts, like that's 100% true. Yeah.
So there is a slight glimmer of hope that I have that
Mm-hmm.
that there will be some revelations and that there will be some stories told that maybe Vince McMahon wouldn't otherwise I don't know, be involved in,
Right.
or want really put out in the air. What I am concerned about, and I don't mean to be macabre or wishing unwell upon anybody.
It's a good word.
Macabre.
Good word.
I
I don't even know what that means. That's interesting.
Yeah. The timing of this is quite strange.
How
Vince,
so?
Vince McMahon is getting older,
He is.
as we all do day by day.
Uh-huh. Wherein days go by.
Yeah. Anyway,
That's on the internet forever.
it is. Look at that. That's crazy.
Crazy how the internet works.
What I'm wondering is how did we get to this decision? Like, is Vince McMahon in his older age reflecting upon life? I'm not at all saying that something has happened that we don't know about, that WWE wouldn't want us to know about, that's going on with Vince. I'm not saying that at all.
He's actually a lizard.
I don't I don't have any insider information, nor would I would ever want to allege something that may not be true. Right?
Of course.
But I'm just curious if something's happened in Vince's life right now that's making him reflect on all the years that he spent working and all the work that he's put into this company. I'm just wondering if there's
What are you
something...
getting at, Tanner?
I don't know, man. Maybe he's about to sell the company. Maybe he's about to step down. Maybe maybe this is a celebration of him before he all puts it down. I don't know.
I mean,
Again, I'm not alleging that he's ill or anything
No.
like that. I would never do such a thing. But what I'm simply saying is, like, there's never ever been the pondering of a Vince McMahon documentary until now.
it's true.
Because they would never do such a thing. He would never want such a thing. He's said many times himself that he would not want to be in the WWE Hall of Fame while he's still alive, right? Vince is a very protected and protective kind of guy. Why all of a sudden, I guess, openness to being accessible?
Right. I mean, I'm over here making jokes, but like I
No,
understand.
I get it.
I understand your point for sure. I mean, like you said, we all we all get older, and of course, Vince has said he for lack of a better word, he's always wanted to stay involved with WWE, till the very end. So I mean, maybe this is the very end, not in terms of like like. No, Vince isn't like dead. He's not dying. I don't want to allege that at all. I'm not saying that, but like
No, of course.
maybe he has decided that now's the time. Maybe now's the time to step down.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I mean, I didn't even think of that when you first told me about this. Now I'm thinking about it. So
Again, I'm not alleging anything.
no,
I would never wish anything like that.
no.
I'm just simply saying the timing is a bit interesting.
Yeah, it's certainly something to think about. But I mean, at the end of the day, sounds like it's going to be a good documentary. Honestly, that Fyre Fest documentary that they had on Netflix was very, very good. I highly recommend you guys check that out if you haven't seen it. I did really enjoy it. So if it's the same director as that one, already off to a good start. Plus, it's a subject matter that I care a lot about. So I'm down. I'll watch it.
Well, there you go.
Day one.
Wow. Maybe
I mean, what else am I watching?
maybe
I'm just
convince-
rewatching The Office right now.
Oh, well, good for you.
Yeah.
It's a good show.
Break me off a piece of that football cream. Anyways,
Maybe I can convince Mrs. Headlock Talk to watch it.
I recommend it.
Let's see here. Some news that's non-news. Matt Riddle's name has now been changed simply just to Riddle, and Matt Riddle seems to be okay with it.
Dumb.
Yeah, I mean,
Stop taking people's first names away. What is this, like the 90th person they've done that to? At least Chad Gable's Chad Gable again. Or is he just Gable?
that we know of. Yeah, I don't know. He said that he quit. And then obviously he's not quit. I mean,
right, of course.
We're just waiting. Let me see here. The last little bit of news here before we get to some of our closing segments. WWE, I believe, started shutting down Twitch streams of wrestlers, with wrestlers such as AJ Styles posting that the Twitch stream is going to be going down. They were, wrestlers including him and Cesaro and others were reaching out into their Twitch communities, letting them know kind of what's been going on. Paige was actually in the middle of a Twitch stream when the news broke, and she was very critical of that. Yeah. I've got a few different quotes here. This is from Paige directly that I'm going to be quoting. There may be a time where I have to stop streaming. I'll have to walk away. If I have to leave, we have to make it today and Saturday. We have to make today and Saturday expletive crazy. I've honestly gotten to the point where I cannot deal with this company anymore. Now I have to make a very important decision. I'm tired, man. I broke my neck twice for this company, and that she said that she was overworked. So she kept repeating that she had broken her neck twice, and that basically she can't work for WWE anymore. Obviously, that this is her one realm of escape,
right?
And yet, this is one more thing that WWE is taken away from its talent, that is supposedly independent contractors, Steven.
Supposedly, yeah. I mean, look, I agree with Paige, honestly. I don't know if a public forum like Twitch is a good place to air your grievances necessarily, but I will say I agree with all of her points, honestly. I mean, we've talked about this before. I mean, like, it's kind of crap,
Yeah.
It's absolute crap, that they have all these, there's really two things here. One, that they have all this power over their independent contractors, but then at the same time that you're taking away a platform to connect with fans and a platform to generate more money for yourself, and that shouldn't be allowed. I mean, if you're gonna be working for a company to the point where they're able to dictate the kind of content that you as a person are able to put out into the world, you're an employee. 100% you're an employee of that company. That's how every company that has ever existed has operated. And really, with this coming out about WWE's stance on the Twitches and shutting those down, I really think that this might be the final thing where a lot of these wrestlers finally come together and be like, look, no, I'm an employee of this company. Like, you're not going to treat me like an employee, but then not give me like the benefits of an employee and all these types of things. And I honestly hope that this is the final nail in that coffin, and that this crap ends, man. Cause like I stopped short of saying exploitation, but it almost is, honestly.
Yeah. I mean,
it's ridiculous.
I agree, man. I agree.
Sorry,
let's
so heated.
I just get so busy.
So busy nowadays.
Oh goodness. Let's kind of recap some of the stuff that we've already talked about here so far in a little bit of a game that we like to call This or That. Yes, indeed. This is where I pose to Steven some questions, and we debate over just a selected few topics, and then we'll get on out of here. Okay, we'll just go. Steven, this or that. This year's G1 finals or last year's G1 finals?
Last year's, for sure, for me. Like I said at the top of the show, I would have loved Sonata to win. I think Sonata winning his first one, redeeming LIJ is a much better story than Ibushi just kind of maintaining his awesomeness, which, like, Ibushi's awesome, don't get me wrong, but, like, if the story is Ibushi's just great, it's like, okay, yeah, I already knew that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, Bushi's awesome.
yeah, like, you know,
like we
you don't need to tell me that in a story, you know. If Sonata had won this year, I probably would have said this year. But yeah, just for this question, how everything shook out, definitely last year's G1 final for me.
I would agree with last year's G1 final being the better one, simply because I just liked the match better.
It was a great match.
Last
Absolutely.
year's G1 final, as interference and Bullet Club, whatever it is, right? I liked that story. I liked the idea of Ibushi being able to push through against all odds, through injuries, through constant interference, through Jay White's manipulation of everything.
Yeah.
I just liked that story better. It seems as though they had a lot of big things planned for this year's G1. Obviously, not a lot of those things were able to pan out in the way that they wanted to.
Right.
And that could be for a multitude of different reasons. But yeah, I do like last year's version compared to this year's version. Though I will say, I am very, and not a lot of people out there really like the idea of doing another Naito versus Ibushi match.
Mm-hmm.
But I do.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of another Naito versus Ibushi match. I like it.
I'm fine with it. Yeah.
Steven, which do you prefer? The new WWE Raw roster or the new WWE SmackDown roster? This or that?
Yeah. For me, I think, honestly, I got to go with Raw for this one. Yeah. Specifically, it's got a lot of my favorites in it. It's got AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Matt Riddle, Jeff Hardy, Keith Lee, Ricochet. It's also got, the New Day. It's got the Hurt Business. It's got Miz and Morrison. It's got Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Meh. But it also has Asuka and Naomi, Lacey Evans. Yeah, I got to go with Raw on this one. It is fairly close, though. It is fairly close. SmackDown has, Sami Zayn, Daniel Bryan, Seth Rollins, Aleister Black, Big E. There's a lot of really good people on SmackDown as well, but I think Raw is just that much more stacked.
They need to sort out what the heck they're going to do with Aleister Black.
I agree.
I
agree.
Like, it's awful. Like, the whole situation is awful. I do like the SmackDown roster ever so slightly more because I like the women's division for SmackDown more.
Bianca Belair, man, I agree. Yeah, on the SmackDown. Bianca Belair is probably my favorite main roster women's wrestler right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go.
I've been high on Bianca Belair ever since NXT, honestly. And Bianca Belair has been one of those instances of an NXT call-up actually working out very, very well. 90% of them do not. So to see Bianca be as good as she was in NXT on the main roster, kind of like in spite of everything that happens with NXT call-ups, props to her, man.
Yeah, I mean, so just a quick glance here is the SmackDown roster. Aleister Black, let's see here, Apollo Crews, Buddy Murphy, Big E.
Oh, good thing they got
Cesaro,
King Corbin.
Chad Gable, Daniel Bryan. Yes, they do have King Corbin.
I'm sorry, I had to.
Kevin Owens. I mean, again, yeah, the only thing that I see here is that Shinsuke Nakamura, Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn. It's a good roster. I mean, obviously, you've got King Corbin and Lars Sullivan, which are two black eyes on the roster for different reasons, right? Lars Sullivan. I mean, do we gotta explain?
No,
Okay.
I don't think we do. I think the listeners
and then Baron Corbin is just horrible.
Yeah, he's just awful.
It's just bad. I've got nothing against Baron Corbin. I'm just saying.
I mean, not as a person.
Yeah, not as a person. No.
But like, he's very boring in my opinion. But I mean, that's not entirely his fault. Like, I don't want to put that all on him, I don't have anything against him. It's just like whenever the character of King Corbin comes on the screen, I'm just like, oh my god, can we end this? I don't need this, but it is what it is.
Of course. And then the women's division. I mean, Bayley, Bianca Belair. Let me see here. Liv Morgan, Sasha Banks, Zelina Vega,
Riot Squad.
Got a good roster there, I think, for SmackDown.
Yeah, I will concede that SmackDown's women's roster is definitely better than Raw's. I mean, for me, the standouts for on Raw are Asuka and Naomi and Charlotte Flair. Those are like the big ones, really. But
indeed.
Let
me see here. More this or that, Steven. Let's move over to some AEW type news.
Yeah.
AEW. Cody Rhodes made quite the controversial claim that has the internet talking. Is the AEW TNT Championship the most valuable championship? Like, is it more important than the AEW World Title? Like, is it this or that? AEW TNT title or AEW World Title? This or that? What's more important?
What is this, a joke, Cody? Are you serious right now?
I mean,
no, the TNT title is not more important than the world title. No. I don't believe that.
Cody said that it is the most prized possession in world wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, I disagree. I mean, it's certainly held up the mid card of AEW 100%. There's been a lot of I mean, not a lot of, but some good title runs from Cody and from Brody as well. They've brought up a lot of young talent to challenge for it as well, which I think right there is probably the most important thing that the TNT title does is provide an avenue for some younger guys to maybe get in the title scene. But is it more important than the AEW World Title? No, it's just not. Absolutely not.
Yeah, no. Let's be very real here. Cody's simply trying to sell,
of course,
the viewer on how he feels about his title, right?
Well, and he's also trying to he's also trying to make something happen that we're doing right now. Talk about it. He's trying to get people to talk about it.
Yeah.
Which,
that's what we're doing.
Here we are.
Here we are.
So the end goal was correct from Cody, but it's a false statement.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And then last but not least here, Steven, this or that, is Drew McIntyre buried or nah?
I'm gonna say nah, like tentatively, right? Because I need to see more going forward before I necessarily say yes or no. Right now, not necessarily. Like, yes, he did lose to Randy, but he had, for all intents and purposes, a very solid title run for a lot of this year, and I don't think that can be discounted too much. Yeah, he lost the title, but that the title is very important, but it's also not everything. And there's certainly multiple things that they can do to bring Drew McIntyre back into the fold if they want to. Like we had mentioned, they're obviously building towards Randy and Edge. So where Drew McIntyre fits in there, if at all, I don't know. But I wouldn't say it's just like, oh yeah, Drew's dead, no way. Like, I don't want to say it that definitively yet. You know what I mean?
I don't think that he is buried at all. I think that no matter what they do with him or Randy Orton or Edge going forward, I think that you're still going to have Drew McIntyre being it's okay, Steven. You're still going to have Drew McIntyre playing a big part in Raw and in WWE in general. I think that he proved himself as being worthy of being the top guy, right? That being said, I think a lot of what happens at WrestleMania is going to hinge on Edge's status, if he's good to go, if by Royal Rumble time or by WrestleMania, whatever it might be. It is possible that he could not be 100%, or he might be rearing and ready to go right now. I don't know.
Right.
But tricep injuries are not easy. So we'll see what happens there. But no, Drew McIntyre is not buried. I think that he's still going to be very much in the game for the long term, and I think they're just waiting on another opportunity for fans to come back around to give him another opportunity, because he does deserve to have that kind of victory in front of fans.
Yeah, I agree.
Good stuff. Let's do a quick preview, because AEW Full Gear is next weekend, Steven. And we'll be doing a review of that show next week's episode. Yeah, look at that.
I couldn't snap. There it is. Oh, my snap sucks.
There you go.
Whatever.
Yeah, this is quality content here. So let's do a run through here of the matches. Hangman Adam Page will be facing Kenny Omega in an AEW Championship tournament final match. Winner gets a future AEW World Title shot. Steven, this for me is the big match heading into the show.
For sure.
Two former tag team partners with a lot of animosity towards each other. What do you think here, man?
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else. Sorry.
No.
I definitely agree with you. This is the big match of this show, in my opinion as well. I mean, this is where we're going to see where the two of them are going from here. Are they going to make up? Are they going to just further dig that hole of their past friendship? Does Kenny go full cleaner? Does Hangman turn on Kenny? There's so many different things that they can do here, and this match is very important for what happens next for both of those guys. So yeah, I'm really excited for it. I do think I don't know how, but I do think Kenny will win. But I'm very excited to see how.
I think Kenny will win as well. It will mark a year since they had their lights out match. And I think that the implication going forward is that Kenny still remembers the lights out match with Jon Moxley. He remembers that fall that he took onto the boards, the bare boards. And he'll remember Jon Moxley just bringing as much pain and punishment to Kenny Omega as he's ever had in his life. So I agree with you in that I would expect fully for Kenny Omega to win this match.
But as it is oftentimes with AEW, it's all about the journey, man. It's all about the journey and how we get there. We talked about the Hangman and Kenny Omega versus the Young Bucks match, and the ending of that match really didn't matter almost. It was the journey throughout the match and what they were telling, the story they were telling throughout the match. And so that's really what I'm super excited about for this, because this is like, I say this sometimes, this is like a culmination of AEW canon, like all the backstory that they've pulled, through, being the Elite, through all of the pay-per-views, all of the backstage interviews and segments. Like, this is the culmination of all of that,
Yeah. Nope, you're right, man. And I'm excited for this match.
Yes,
it's gonna be good. It's gonna be really good.
Oh yeah.
Let me see here. What else do we have on the card? Cody will be defending the AEW TNT Championship against Darby Allin. I think it's a little bit early for a title change, but I mean, it would be a nice opportunity to put Darby over if Cody was to lose.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't think that what is that?
It's a motorcycle outside.
No, I wouldn't think that they would put it on Darby either, personally. It is just a little too early, but at the same time, I mean, Darby is very over. Darby is very over, and so I mean, maybe they might want to give it a shot. Maybe something new, I don't know. I don't know. It's gonna be a good match though.
This next match, I absolutely hate the stipulation, but they are doing a very. I mean, this is a match that has been eagerly anticipated. I've been wishing for this match for quite some time. FTR versus the Young Bucks with the AEW Tag Team Championships on the line. If the Young Bucks lose, however, they will never be able to challenge for the AEW Tag Team Championship again.
Mm-hmm.
This is dumb.
It's not a good stipulation.
This is a dumb stipulation.
Yeah.
We've already seen that it's tied down Cody.
Mm-hmm.
But at least Cody has an out because there's another. They created another singles title. This is what the Young Bucks do. They do tag team wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I get that both Matt and Nick Jackson, more so Nick Jackson, are decent singles competitors, right? Oftentimes even good in Nick's case. Not that Matt is a bad singles wrestler, but this is what they do. They do tag team wrestling.
It's the Young Bucks, man. Like,
yeah. You're telling me that you expect me to not ever see the Young Bucks hold the tag team titles?
right. Come on now.
This is dumb.
Yeah. I mean, this almost. I mean, unless they want to do, some weird trickery down the line and be like, oh, well, I had my fingers crossed or something. But, I mean, this basically tells us that the Young Bucks are winning.
I mean, they should win. If they
mean,
don't win, that would be terrible.
Yeah.
Why would they not win in this match?
Certainly wouldn't make any sense to me. I will say that. I mean, if they lose that match and are under that stipulation in AEW, that's a very strange decision if they decide to go that route. I don't see themselves tying themselves down with that kind of thing. So I mean, for me, it's at this point it's almost guaranteed that the Young Bucks will win.
John Moxley versus Eddie Kingston in an I Quit match for the AEW World Title. I expect this to be brutal.
Mm-hmm.
I expect this to be awesome. I expect it to be violent. And I would still expect for John Moxley to be champion at the end of the night here, Steven.
Yep. I completely agree. I mean, this is going to be a very, very good match. I have no doubt about that. But, nah, Eddie's not winning the title. There's no way. Just is what it is.
Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara in an Elite Deletion match. Elite. Deletion.
Delete.
I'm not sure what an Elite Deletion match is. I've been out of the loop, so if they've explained it, my bad. But from what I can tell here, they're going to try and run this thing back one more time without Matt Hardy cracking his head on concrete.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm worried about, man. Keep this thing in the ring, y'all. Keep it in the ring. I mean, I don't know. I don't even necessarily know exactly what went down with that, nasty fall from Matt Hardy. I don't know if it was Matt Hardy's fault. I don't know if it was Sammy's fault. I don't really know.
Nor do we have to know.
No, I mean, it almost doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. The point is that it happened, and then, a lot of stuff allegedly was said and unsaid, and not said. And from there, we ended up with Matt Hardy being on the shelf, healthy, for an extended amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, whatever that means, that's what I'm worried about. Honestly, I just I hope this match is in the ring, and I hope it's a it can still be a good match while being a very safe match, and I really hope it is a very safe match because. Matt Hardy, man, you can't be taking bumps like that. Like that hurt my soul when I watched it. Like, and I'm not even like trying to be hyperbolic to be funny. Like that hurt me. Like it was hard to watch, dude. And I don't want to see that again. Honestly.
We have Hikaru Shida defending the AEW Women's World Championship match against Nyla Rose, who will be accompanied by Vicky Guerrero.
Excuse me.
Maybe it's me being out of loop on AEW stuff entirely. I still expect Hikaru Shida to win this match.
Yeah, I mean, I would as well. Hikaru Shida's been very good. She's been their best women's champion by far, in my opinion. That being said, Nyla Rose has gotten so much better. So much better than. Sorry, I just spiked the hell out of the mic.
No, you're fine.
So much better than when she first started in AEW. So if she takes the title off of Hikaru, I'm kind of okay with it because like her matches have been very good. They've been very good recently, and I remember when we first started talking about Dynamite and Nyla was the champion there, we were like, oh man, she's just so green. She just needs more time, needs more experience, and then maybe come back to this later. And honestly, this could be that time that we were talking about where like this could be later where she has the experience and she does have the time to be a pretty solid champion. So I would prefer if Hikaru retains here, but if I don't know, if Nyla Rose takes, it's not the end of the world. I'm kind of okay with it.
Indeed. Let me see here. Last but not least, we also have Chris Jericho versus MJF in a singles match. If MJF wins, he is allowed to join the Inner Circle. Obviously, we had the nice musical number.
The greatest segment of 2020.
It's a very low bar to be setting here.
No, I mean, what are your, just a slight tangent, what are your opinions on that segment? I'm really curious.
Honestly, MJF was a far better singer of that song than Chris Jericho was.
That's certainly true. Yeah,
that was not Chris Jericho's style. I think that fit MJF, and thanks to you, I got to hear MJF doing some more singing from a previous live event, I guess that went down, or some at another promotion.
Just some angle that he was in. Yeah.
But yeah, he I saw him sing, or got to hear him sing another song. He's a pretty good singer.
Very good singer. Yeah.
Yeah. So MJF, will he join the Inner Circle? Maybe. I don't know, Steven. I'm on the fence for this match here.
Yeah. I think he will. I do think he will, honestly. They're look, if you don't like that segment, if you do like it, it's whatever, but they're obviously putting a lot of eggs in that basket of the relationship between Chris Jericho and MJF, and I don't think that they would take that big of a risk with a segment like that if they were just going to kind of have Chris Jericho beat MJF and then have that whole thing fizzle out. And so I think honestly, just based on that segment alone, maybe not alone, but that segment, I do think MJF will win here, and I do think he will join Inner Circle. They're building something with that relationship between the two of them, and I don't think they're going to throw that away.
Indeed. With that being said, it's time for us to take a deep dive down into, of course, our final segment, If Wishes Were Fishes. Indeed. If Wishes Were Fishes is the game that we like to play at the end of our show, where we each take turns making a wrestling-related wish, and the other one grades said wish in terms of fish.
Yes, indeed.
Indeed.
Yes, indeed.
So this is our first If Wishes Were Fishes back for Season 2 of Headlock Talk. We've got 12 episodes locked and loaded here for this season. And then, of course, we'll take a little bit of a break and then come back for Season 3. But this being Episode 1 of Season 2, Steven, it's got to make some big impact here with this wish.
Yes, indeed.
What you thinking?
Oh, you want me to go first?
You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I can go first, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so we saw the WWE draft, right? Some questionable choices, but some good choices too. One questionable choice that I had was the splitting up of New Day. And so now you have part of New Day on SmackDown with Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, but then or is it the other way around? It's the other way around. They are on Raw, and Big E is on SmackDown. And so we're basically left with a hole in New Day,
yes.
and they're gonna need something to do, right? So
I mean, they could still be.
They don't. I mean, yeah.
But yeah, I get your point. I'm curious to know what you what you're gonna say.
I more mean that Big E needs something to do, and what I propose, if wishes were fishes, I would love for us to finally get, even if it doesn't win, even if it doesn't end in like a glamorous, like title challenge and everything, I want to see Big E challenge Roman Reigns.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I would like to see as well. It's funny that you said that, because I actually was gonna make a similar kind of wish.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no.
I just like it. Look, Big E doesn't need to be the Universal Champion. I'm not saying that, but Big E he's so good.
Yeah.
He's very, very good. And I think this is a perfect opportunity to showcase that, now that, he's still in New Day, obviously, but now that he's kind of on his own and doesn't have that same backup that he normally does, now's the time to showcase his singles talent.
Well, I'm certainly going to give you 4 killer whales, because that's a killer wish, and it's a big fish.
That is a very big
for
fish.
Big E.
It's about this big. It's pretty big.
I'm slightly larger than
maybe that big.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
I've never seen a killer whale in my life.
They're big, Steven.
Oh, okay.
Very big fish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're talking about big fish.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, thank you.
What I was gonna say is, if wishes were fishes, for me, I would say that as far as Big E is concerned, if wishes were fishes, because we do know that they oftentimes switch back and forth, the winner of the Royal Rumble being from Raw, being from SmackDown, being from Raw, whatever.
Right.
They oftentimes do that. But I would make Big E the winner of the Royal Rumble.
Nice.
If wishes were fishes, Big E would win the Royal Rumble.
Oh yeah.
And go on and challenge Roman Reigns.
I certainly like that. That's like the one tier up from my wish, because you got like some setup in there too with the win at Royal Rumble.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. That's beautiful. I'm gonna give you 7 octopi. Yep.
I'll take the octopus. It's good fish.
It is. Is it a fish? I don't even know. I don't know what the distinction of like what makes a fish. Gills, I guess.
Do octopus not have gills?
Oh, I would suppose they do. Yeah. So I guess that makes them a fish. I don't really know. I'm not an octopus expert.
We're not marine biologists.
No, we just talk about fish very often.
Alrighty, folks. Well, with that being said, we got to get out of here. But we want to take the time to thank you guys again for tuning in here. Season 2, Episode 1 of Headlock Talk. We are back. It feels good. I'm glad we could have a sit down and chat about stuff with you, Steven.
Absolutely.
Talk about wrestling.
Yeah.
We'll be back again next week with more stuff on the YouTubes as well as on podcast form. We'll be talking about AEW Full Gear 2020, which will be a good show. And we want to ask that you please take the time, if you haven't yet done so already, subscribe to us wherever you're listening or viewing this show. If you're watching it on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell as well for all notifications, letting you know when future episodes of Headlock Talk will be available. And also, just share it with your friends. Yeah, tell your friends about Headlock Talk. If you're listening to us on podcasts, make sure to hit that subscribe button, leave a 5-star rating review wherever you're listening. That'd be greatly appreciated as well. And thanks again to our friends over at Super Kicks. You can go to superkicks.com, SPRKIX, for all of your wrestling apparel needs. Use promo code HLT10 for 10% off on your purchase. That is good stuff there, Steven.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I'm excited to see these shirts. I'm excited to see them, get them in my hands and wear them, because they look great.
They do look like great shirts.
And they said it's kind of a lightweight, kind of flexible material, which is the kind of shirts that I really like.
Yes, I've got my eyes on them. So guys over at Super Kicks, if you're listening, hit us up. We would like to know more about these shirts.
Yes, indeed. And listeners, go to sprkix.com and use promo code HLT10 to get your very own shirt.
Yeah, 10% off. Good
Or
stuff.
beanie.
Or beanie.
Or sweatshirt.
It is getting to be wintertime. You know, sweatshirts, hoodies, jackets, all that good stuff. Super Kicks has you covered.
Yes,
so
indeed.
Good stuff there. Anyway, I'm, of course, the Texas Gentleman Tanner Pruitt, and as always with me here, the one, the only, Mr. Stephen Grudy.
Appreciate you guys listening.
Thank you guys. Take care. Have yourselves a great day, and make sure again hit that subscribe button wherever you listen to podcasts. Hit the if you go, you'll see my Twitter handle's above there. Steven's Twitter handle is over there that way, and then subscribe to the YouTube and the Twitter, which is that way. There we go. All right. Thanks again, guys. I'm the Texas Gentleman Tanner Pruitt. Of course, with me, the one, the only Mr. Stephen Grudy. Thank you again for rejoining us here on Headlock Talk.
Later, y'all.
Bye-bye.